Hello everybody and welcome to Morzak EV, a channel dedicated to all things electric vehicles, electric vehicle charging and all related technologies. So in this series of videos we're going to cover the new grants that have become available since the beginning of this year. These grants have been made available to a whole host of businesses and homes, occupiers, rented accommodation and landlords. So if you're thinking of investing in EV infrastructure, make sure you check out these videos and the government guidance and understand if you might be eligible for additional funding towards the installation of those charge points. So the grants that have become available are the EV charge point grant for flat owner occupiers and people living in rented accommodation. The EV charge point grant for landlords. Now, just as an overview, that covers both commercial landlords and residential landlords. The EV infrastructure grant for residential car parks. The EV infrastructure grant for staff and fleets. Finally, the workplace charging scheme for charities and small accommodation businesses. So this set of videos will have its own playlist. You can scan through and pick out the videos that apply to yourself, your domestic situation or your business. Also, make sure you give us a cheeky thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications of when we release the next videos in this series. So in this video we're going to cover the workplace charging scheme, guidance for charities and small accommodation businesses. Roll the credits. So in this video we're going to cover the workplace charging scheme, guidance for charities and small accommodation businesses. So this is a new grant that's been set up specifically to boost the installation of electric vehicle charge points in the hospitality and charity sector. So this is basically an extension of the workplace charging scheme, but unlike the workplace charging scheme, which is only eligible for parking for the employees of the business, this is eligible for charities and small accommodation businesses to allow their customers to use the charge points. So small accommodation businesses are hotels, B&Bs, holiday lets which have less than 250 employees. So this is nice. It's basically supporting the small accommodation businesses who might have struggled through the pandemic. So if you're a small accommodation business, you need to be registered under the standard industrial classification codes as 5510, 5520 or 5530, which covers hotels or similar accommodation, holiday and other short stay accommodation, and camping grounds and recreational vehicle parks and trailer parks. In addition, it's also open to any registered charities. So one reason to take a closer look on the eligibility criteria is to have a look at if you're part of a linked enterprise. There's some more details on the small print on this. So if you're part of a linked enterprise that might have more than 250 employees, it's worth checking that out to make sure you fall inside or outside the eligibility criteria of this particular grant. To claim under this scheme, you apply for a voucher under the workplace charging scheme. This is super simple. You go on the website, complete the form, say how many sockets you want, and get a voucher code which you give to your installer, and they will deduct the cost of the grant off your installation. So this grant gives you access to up to £350 per socket for up to 40 sockets per business. So that's quite a lot of funding you can get towards the installation of charge points in your business. What I'd recommend is, before proceeding with a voucher application, consult someone like ourselves, Morzak EV, or another OZEV approved installer who's done this before. Make sure you understand how many charge points you can apply for, and your incoming supply will be able to cope with. There are systems that can help out if you do have a smaller supply but want more charge points. So have a discussion with your installer. They'll be able to help you apply for the grant if needed through the voucher portal, and then you can begin the process of the installation itself. Again, as with all of these types of grants, you need to have your own dedicated off-road parking that you either own or have sole permission to use. It's not very often that the government comes up with grants like this, so it really is worth taking advantage while it's still here. We don't really have any kind of visibility of how long it's going to be around. So if it's something you're considering doing in the near future, make sure you start having conversations with installers like ourselves. So I hope that was useful. If it was, we look forward to hearing from you and discussing your charge point needs. Make sure you check out our other social media. Give us a cheeky thumbs up on the video if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe to get notifications of other videos on charge points installations, changes to grants, and in the meantime, thanks very much for watching.